Welcome back. Now, the Namibia Green Hydrogen and the Bank of Namibia, as well as the Namibia Statistics Agency, will host an event on November 18th focused on assessing the socio-economic impact of green hydrogen on Namibia. Joining me this evening to discuss this is James Mnyupe, the Green Hydrogen Commissioner, as well as Mwala Lubinda, a researcher at Monasa Advisories and Associates. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Nina. Thanks for having us.
Lovely to have you back, James and Mr. Lubinda, first time here.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Nina.
Now, James, I understand that this event aims to provide an in-depth look at Namibia's green hydrogen industry and, of course, its potential impact. But to start with, give us a preview of what the attendees can expect in terms of the presentation on the socio-economic impact assessment.
Great. So, Nina, they can expect answers to their questions. Every time I meet people, they're always like, well, when is this thing, becoming tangible? What are the jobs? You keep on promising us all these jobs. So where are these jobs going to come from? And as much as I've been trying to tell them using words, we've asked Mwala to help us a little bit, right? So Mwala is going to open up a model, an economic model, called a social accounting model. And he will put green hydrogen in the middle of that model, and he'll say, look, green hydrogen's backward linkages, where does the inputs come from, look like this. And their forward linkages, its product and its output look like this. And its impact on your household income, its jobs and your helping you buy milk looks like this. So it's sort of a practical economic response to the hunger that we've gotten from the people to say, how do we understand this green hydrogen thing from another angle? What jobs does it create, etc.? And I'm personally quite excited. I mean, Mwala is way smarter than me. I've been hanging out with him for the past few weeks. And I'm learning a lot from him. So I can't wait for the session just for my own benefit, as well as those, of course, of your viewers and other people around Namibia.
Yeah. I think also before we get to, talking about what jobs it will create, how it trickles down to the average Namibian, we don't have much policy around this sector as well. So, Mr. Lubinda, the theme suggests, of course, there's tons of potential, for green hydrogen in the country. But what are some of the key areas that policymakers would have to look at in this presentation or assessment?
So when we look at this green hydrogen industry, it's an opportunity for Namibia to diversify its economy. It's an opportunity for Namibia to use it to address some of its key developmental challenges. So we want to see how is it going to contribute to poverty, how is it going to contribute to household income, to the unemployment challenge that the country is facing, as well as grow the economy. So to be able to do that, you need to have some insights into, we know the sector is still in its early stages, but when it's operational, how is it going to look like? Because once you have that insight, then you can be able to propose evidence-based policies to be able to ensure that this sector can maximize benefits to the ordinary Namibian.
And of course, everybody's excited, yes, for the aspects that you mentioned earlier, James, but we also being told that this is, going to put Namibia on the map in terms of revolutionizing green hydrogen. It's going to bring in so much, the economical impact is going to be incredible. But I want to know, talk to us about, in terms of the assessment, how it speaks to the, Namibia's economic landscape once we do implement GH.
Absolutely. And so everyone's saying once we implement it, for some people it's already been implemented. So, by the way, after the Monday sort of theoretical classroom discussion with Mwala on Tuesday, if your viewers are keen, they should come with us. The program is taking 10 people to a site in Arandis called High Iron. Hopefully some of us have heard of it by now. But High Iron are doing exactly what Mwala is trying to investigate. So you make hydrogen in Namibia, but actually that's not what we're going to export or trade. So these guys are going to use this hydrogen to make a whole new product called iron ore. So what does that mean from an economic perspective, or the sectors? They might import iron ore from South Africa, from Sishen, near Uppington, bring it via rail, create new income from Transnamib, then take it to Arandis, add value, treat that iron ore with hydrogen, take it again with Transnamib to Namport, and sell it maybe to Japan, right? So now one needs to start looking at how does that impact the port, Transnamib, the local logistics sector, employees that will build and run the plant. And that's what we want to show colleagues on Tuesday. So If they want to reach out to us, they should reach out to jmusheko@gh2.org.na and say to him, look, however many slots are left, I want to come on that bus. We're taking a whole bunch of media. Some of our ministers will come as well. And what we will show the people who do come, we'll also try and obviously do this with Media NBC, is what does the plant actually look like? Solar panels, the electrolyzer, the kiln, but importantly, Namibians built that. So we want to introduce them to the SMEs. There were 25 SMEs that built this thing from scratch. So talk to them. What did they learn? How did they build it? And then importantly, these SMEs created 400 jobs. So meet Pete, meet Sandra, meet Johannes, and ask them how has that impacted their lives? Because, you know, Mwala will model them in terms of the household income, but meet them. Ask them about how much money they made, and then see the excitement and their learning curves. The first megawatt that they built was much slower than the third megawatt that they built, let alone the 25th megawatt that they built on the solar panel. And now, High Iron is sort of investigating whether they can build 10 times that size on the same farm. So come and meet them and ask them that as well. Where will it be? They want to now put together 300 megawatt hours of battery. Where will that be? So I really want Namibians to get hands-on, to really get a tangible experience of Mwala's economic model, but what does it look like on ground? And of course, NBC has to come. And Nina must actually shoot her daily roundup from the High Iron plant with the solar panels in the background. Why not?
To ask, just out of interest sake, James, this High Iron plant, at what stage of development is it? Is it fully operational right now?
So they're going to press the start button in December. So today, all the equipment is there. They're beginning to install it all. They are actually going to be lifting the electrolyzer into its house on that day. That's why we're going there on that day. I said, look, give me some space. I want people to see Namibians operating or constructing this asset. If they switch it on in December, of course, we'd love to go back. And essentially at that point in time, they would have connected all the electricity, and they want to start producing this new product in January. Now, one more important thing that we might be able to do on that day is they might announce their first customer. So it's one thing now to construct the plant, another thing to operate it, but you must now have to find a buyer for your product.
Right.
Maybe that next week they can actually announce that they found somebody in the world that wants to buy 200,000 tons of their product at a price that allows them to make money and start expanding. That will be amazing. You know, everyone says, when is first oil? You know, first oil is coming 28, 29. First hydrogen is coming 2024. It was built in 24 already. 23, it was designed. So I think I want to show Namibians that we're not waiting for hydrogen to come. Hydrogen is hiso. Ons het net de ding gebouw. And now ons verkoop die ding. Verstaan jy? So I'm like, colleagues, verstaan jy? So we don't have to wait much longer.
Yeah.
It's now here. And it would be amazing for Namibians to see it. For me personally, as a government worker, I am so proud to have seen Namibians build this thing. Because we were told we don't have the skills. This thing is the first of its kind, not in Africa, not in SADC, not in Europe, in the whole world. People from Brazil, Australia are calling this colleague saying, come and set up shop in Australia. Why in Namibia? It's like a backward. He's like, no, I liked our government inspired me. And in December, one of the largest steel makers in the world is coming to Namibia to see this plant. They're called ThyssenKrupp. Toyota, the car manufacturer, has been to Namibia twice, and they're coming back in December. They may want to buy his product. They're saying, actually, I might want to buy a part of your company as well. Colleagues, you know the Land Cruisers in Hood? They want to use this thing to make those Land Cruisers, to reduce the carbon content of their cars.
That's fantastic to hear, because a lot of times when we speak about, you know, big projects, maybe not of this magnitude, you know, the talk goes on for years and years and years, and the action rarely follows this quickly. I mean, we just started speaking about green hydrogen a year or two ago, and we're seeing a lot of progress, so that's very, very exciting.
Nina, you sound like a politician.
Oh.
Because it did happen very quick,
It
no?
did.
The promise is we started dreaming about it in 2001. We're making new products in 2024. I think that's commendable. But let's see next week together. We can go and check it out.
Mr. Lubinda, over to you. I want to talk about this assessment and your research and what other key areas, you've unpacked there.
So we're going to be looking at what will be the impact of the green hydrogen industrialization on economic growth. How much will it contribute in terms of the key macroeconomic indicators like your GDP? What will it contribute in terms of employment? But not only at the macro level, we also want to go at the lower level, at the micro level, to look at household income and also poverty. We know these are some of the challenges that Namibians are facing. So we want to see if this green hydrogen is operational, how much will it be contributing to say household income? How many people will it lift out of poverty when the industry is operating? But not only that, we want to see how the industry will be structured in the Namibian economy. Because really, it's a new industry, so you have the ability to design, if I could say that, design it in such a way that it has a strong backward linkage. In other words, it buys more in the economy. The more it buys more in the economy, the more it creates jobs. And what is good with green hydrogen is that we're not going to sell green hydrogen. We must add value we're adding value to it. We're going to be selling ammonia. So if we sell ammonia, it means that we need to buy nitrogen somewhere. So who's going to supply that nitrogen? So we're going to other sectors will start benefiting from these sectors as it grows.
100% that it's a new industry. So what innovative, insights does this research then offer that could serve as a reference for other countries developing similar projects, Mr. Sir?
So what we use in this study is what we call a latent and emerging sector approach. The sector is starting out to operate, but it wasn't there. So how do you introduce such a sector into an economy? So you study it, and then you try and understand where its linkages, how it's going to be anchored in the economy. And it offers for countries that are going to go into this space, it offers the methodology we're using, it offers them to be able to analyze not only the macroeconomic impact, but also the day-to-day challenges that the population is facing, because we are not only looking at the macroeconomy, but also at the micro level. Mm-hmm. So it offers that and offers a balanced approach to make sure that the benefits that this industry generates are maximized to the population.
All right. Just lastly, James, November 18th, for somebody that would like to attend, is there a registration process, and where will the event be held? Give us all the details.
So, colleagues, come through. It will be at the Vani Hotel. 8:30 to 12:30 is the time slot. If you can't be there physically, the Namibia Green Hydrogen program will be streaming the event live on our Facebook page as well. In terms of registration, look, you can reach out to jmusheko at gh2.org.na. Of course, you can also reach out to Monasa. They will also be registering colleagues. I'm sure we're going to run out of space, so I think the online version is great. We will, of course, tape it, so even if you don't see it live, you can always access it again. And then, again, don't forget, once you're done with that one, if you want to come and physically see the real thing, again, reach out to Joanna Musheko. Let's go to Arandis and let's then see what Mwala was telling us on Monday. Let's go see what it really looks like on Tuesday.
When's that excursion happening? What date?
Well, that's 19 November. We're probably going to leave from the Green Hydrogen Program offices 5 Ottonitske Street around 9 a.m.
Okay.
It's right next to the UN House, behind Hidas, right next to Ernst & Young. We'll put up our green hydrogen flags like this one so that you don't miss it. You know, the blue tie, you told me it's trustworthy. So come on over, let's get into a bus and let's go.
That was private information,
it was?
Mr. Mnyupe, yes.
But Nina, you told me it was you and your colleagues, your viewers are like this, so we must let them into the inner circle.
Well, thank you so much for being here this evening. It was lovely speaking to you.
Amen. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we heard it from the horse's mouth. Mr. Mnyupe said, "Die ding is gebou." They're at High Iron Plant. If you'd like to get involved, of course, go onto their social media. See how you can register to be a part of the event on November 18th. And of course, the excursion taking place on November 19th. We'll be back with more conversation right after this.